What would you say is the most surprising feedback that you've received about the book since it came out last year?
Wow. Um, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Well, one that stands out, it's not a hockey book. Everybody thinks Karl Subban is writing a hockey book. And hockey is the vehicle or the platform for me to spread the message about potential. But, um, I think the word is going to be inspirational. It's very inspiring. That's the feedback I get from people all over. It's inspiring. I remember when I was doing the audio version of my book. Guess what? There were times when I laughed out loud. I can't believe that Karl Subban was so funny. There were times when, you know what? When I wanted to cry, and there are times when I was inspired to do something. And I think those are the feedback I've been getting everywhere I go. But the most important one for me, it's not a hockey book. It's not a recipe for your son or daughter to make the Olympics or to make the NHL. It's really a recipe for them to be better in life, not to be the best, to be better, because best is riddled with stress. And when our children have that best mindset, and they don't, they can't measure up against it, it stresses them, stresses parents. So in the book, my message is you're working to be better. You go to school to work every day to be better. PK goes to the hockey rink every day to work to be better. Better is my best.
In what ways would you say that your parenting approach is the same or different raising your girls versus raising your three boys?
Well, it's different in the sense that we have five different personalities in our children. The one common thing is they are kids. Another common thing is they're all blessed with potential, which we saw in them. But they're all different. And Maria and I tried to nurture the differences. Taz loved to read, so we made sure when she was visiting my parents or grandparents in the summer, she had her Goosebumps books. Natasha is a visual artist. She loved to draw. So we made sure she had this stuff there. The boys love sports, so and so we made sure they had those things around them to nurture those things they love to do. But and our home was like a kindergarten classroom. We had the piano. They had books, but they also had the sporting equipment. My young son Jordan, he would get up almost every morning. It's in the book, and he would put a whistle in his mouth. He's got the hockey stick. He's got the laundry room basket at the front door. He's the referee. He's the hockey player, and we just allowed them to express themselves, to be themselves, and but you know what? When it was time to read, or that it was my time to read to them, or mom to them, they did it. So that's how parenting was. Lots of love, nurtured their interests, and also, you know what? My kids also knew what no meant. There were boundaries. I was never their friend, even though I was friendly to them. I never wanted to be their friend because I said they have many friends and they only have one dad, and I never want to give up that title of dad.
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful transition into something I was going to ask you next, which is I want to throw out some words at you and phrases and wondering if you could summarize your perspective on them in one sentence. Okay?
Well, it's going to be tough for one sentence to call Subban, okay? But I'll try. What about
okay.
compound sentences? Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, sure. So, respect.
Respect is, if you want it, you need to model it.
Okay. Saying no.
Children must know what the word no means. It's a way, and it's important for them to learn to say no. That's empowerment.
Discipline.
Well, it's very difficult to fulfill your dream, to be good at anything unless you're disciplined.
Community.
You got to.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's good. Community. Well, whether it's the home community, school community, remember, our children need a community that believes in them and that they can count on and rely on.
Parenting a pro athlete in a celebrity culture.
Stay out of their way and get out of their way and look for opportunities to get your point across or message across.
Okay, so we're done with the one sentence. So I want to go back to a couple of other questions quickly here. As children today and their parents grow up in a social media world, how much should parents monitor and set limits for how social media influences their lives and the lives of their children?
Well, it's native to children today. Let's face it. It's native to all of us, and I'm not the one to say that I don't want my children on social media, even though they're a little bit older. Obviously, young children, I don't think it's a good thing for them to be on social media. But I think that I love balance. If that's all you're doing, if you're on social media 24/7, I'm going to have an issue with it. I really promote balance in my parenting approach. But I think it's not just the parent's job to monitor, to teach, or to coach. It's also the school's job, the coach's job, because it's such a big part of who children are today. And so if my son is on a basketball team, at the start of the school year, I want the coach, or the basketball season, when the coach has his preseason meeting, I want him or her to make that one of the topics on the agenda. At school, it must be on the agenda at the start of the school year. Even at work, it should be on our agenda too. So I think that it's not just a parenting thing. It's the responsibility of many sectors in society, from school to the church to the leader in the community. I think it's going to take the community approach to help to guide and teach our children. But I do believe in balance. I do believe in teaching children how to use it responsibly. I remember my wife and I, we had a debate when my son was in grade 7, Jordan. He wanted a cell phone, and my wife didn't think that he needed a cell phone. And I said, it's okay, because it's important that I teach him. How will you learn how to use it if you don't have one and using it? Mm-hmm. And because I'm more into the teaching, maybe it's because of my background. We have teachers, and that's our job to teach, and it's students' job to learn. Mm-hmm. But as a parent, I'm going to mention this. As a parent, we must have an open mind, and an open mind is a gold mine, and I have an open mind. So one of the things I do, and I always ask parents this: what are you doing to be a better parent? That's a good question.
It is.
What are you doing? I know teachers, we have PDs, coaches go to coaching clinics. I want to start something for parents, because parents, what are you doing to be a better parent? There are things I'm doing. One of the things I do, if I meet you, Leanne, and we start talking about your children, I'm going to ask you, what are one or two things that you do to help your child or children in their use of social media? And then I'll meet another parent who's getting gray, pulling their hair out, and I'll say, you know what? I met someone, and this is what they're doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's that learning and growing that's really important.
Absolutely. You alluded to how your own upbringing in childhood has influenced you as a parent currently, but I'm wondering what aspects of your life experience, what adversity that you may have gone through has most shaped you as a parent. I think about being an immigrant to Canada, living as a minority within a minority, teaching in a highly vulnerable area of Toronto. There's lots of things there, but I'm wondering, is there anything in particular that you would say sort of rises to the top of that list?
Yeah, the one thing is I really believe that children should know what they're good at, and the younger they know, the better. So I always ask you, what are you good at, or what are you working on to be better at? when I came to Canada, if I wasn't good at sports, I would not have had the success I had in terms of integrating into, like, Canada was the land of the unknown. And because I was able to catch a cricket ball, I was able to catch the hockey puck. Because I knew how to hold a cricket bat, I knew how to hold and use a hockey stick to be a goalie, to be Ken Dryden. And so the one thing that has shaped me is knowing what I was good at, and I was good at sports, and that helped me with my integration into Canada. So as a parent, we made sure that our children knew what they were good at. They had learned some skill or some skills at a very young age, which I know continues to help them today.
2 final quick questions for you. Your top 3 pieces of advice for parents today.
Wow. I'm going to tell you, don't beat yourselves up. Okay? When I do my presentation around the country and sometimes to parents, I start out by telling them this, I want you to take 2 seconds to say to yourselves, I am making a difference. Because you are making a difference, but you don't always see it. Henry Adams, who wrote this quote, a teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. And so does parents. It's now PK comes back home sometimes. He'll say, Daddy, now I understand why you and Mommy did certain things. They won't tell you right away. So don't beat yourselves up, okay? Time with your children, parents. Of all the things you can give them, time, especially as they get older and even when they're young, shapes them and helps to make them, whether you're playing with them or reading to them. And they need both, by the way. My granddaughter gets both from granddad. Angelina, Christina, Maria Subban Gator. I play with her every day and I read to her every day. And research has documented the positive things around that. So playing with them, spending time with them, loving them even when you don't know what to say or do, color whatever you say or do with lots of love. And don't forget to discipline them. Our children need to know where the boundaries are.
Final question.
I think I gave you more than 3 there, but that's okay.
It's all terrific. Final question. What are you most proud of as a parent?
The thing that I'm most proud of is that when I see my children and other children pursuing their dreams. Because when you're pursuing your dreams, you know what? You have a meaning. Life is giving you a meaning. It's giving you a purpose. It's going to make you happy. And the other thing is when you're pursuing that dream, you believe in your potential. And when you face adversity, you have what it takes inside of you to overcome whatever you're facing. And so that's what gives me great pleasure today as I observe my children. They are pursuing their dreams, and I couldn't be happier. And once they conquer one dream, I want them to reach for another one, because their lives and our lives are a series of drive-throughs. Like you go to the drive-through, you know what I mean? You stay away from the do not enters, right? The do not enter. You don't want to hurt yourselves or anything to distract you. You go to your order window, you place your order. What do you want out of life? What do you want to do? What is your dream? You go to the pickup window and you pay for what you want. You pay for it. You do the work. You do the time. You persevere. And you work with others. And then you conquer that dream. And then you go around again. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
Karl Subban, thank you so much for your time. The book is called How We Did It. And, what else can I say? We really appreciate your perspective today.
Thanks for having me.